wanted as a kid was to have friends. There were times I was so desperate that I lied about my bloody net worth. So here's some of the dumbest lies I told in order to make friends. When I was younger, I used to go back and forth to India quite a lot. And because of that, I went to school both in India and in England. And don't ask me which one I preferred. They were both pretty traumatizing. At my school in England, I was the only brown bugger there, so I had no bloody friends. And then my school in India, I was the odd one out because I had a British accent. Do you understand why I was a little bit desperate to make friends? And then one day, we were in India and I was getting ready for school. My grandma comes over and tells me it's Kanya Puja, which is a ceremony where you invite 7 young girls from your village and you invite them into your house and you feed them. And then my grandma said, I'm going to be coming over to your school and I'm going to invite 7 girls to the house. This was music to my ears. This was the closest thing I was going to have to having a house party. I was so excited because I knew I was going to make friends because of this. I was telling all the lasses, I get to pick 7 girls to come to my house. And a lot of them were like, so what? So I lied to them to try to convince them to come to my house. And I told every single one of them, you're all going to get 500 rupees each if you come to my house. Now, 500 rupees converts to about a fiver in British pounds, which is not a lot in England, but in India it is. Especially to these kids that I went to school with, because a lot of them were very poor and their parents would work all month just to get 500 rupees. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, all the kids in my class started playing with me. At lunchtime, they were actually including me in games and everything. Not to sound like a wet lettuce, but that was genuinely one of my favourite days at school. Later during that day, my grandma comes over and comes to collect me and 7 other girls. As we're walking home, the girls are looking at me like, oh, 500 rupees. My grandma does the ceremony, she feeds them, and then it's time to give them money. She gives them 10 rupees each. 10 rupees! That converts to a penny. A penny in England. And none of the kids spoke to me again. Listen, I deserved it. I tried to buy me bloody friendship. I feel so guilty that I lied to them and got their hopes up that they were getting 500 rupees. So if you're trying to feel sorry for me in this situation, don't. I bloody had it coming. The next story makes me cringe out so much. It's one of those stories when you're laying in bed and you're thinking, oh! So this one took place in England. To all my British classmates, I used to lie about how many toys I had, how big my room is, basically lying about how amazing my life was. I was able to get away with a lot of these lies because no one was allowed to my house. My Indian granddad would never allow me to invite any of my friends over. So I thought, yeah, I might as well lie because I'm never going to know the truth. Until one day, that pretty traumatized me. So there was a girl in my primary school, we're going to call her Becky. So Becky lived a couple of streets down from me. So one day, me and Becky are playing around in the street and then Becky turns around and says to me, Simmy, I want to play with some of the toys you always talk about. I don't have any of those toys that I said I bloody did. But having a strict granddad came in handy because I said, Becky, you can't come in my house because my granddad won't let you. And then she goes, your granddad's car's not here, so he's not in. I'm going in. White kids are so brave because she just marched into my house. She makes her way into my bedroom and realises I'm a 10-year-old that shares her bedroom with her mother. She looks at me with a lot of confusion and says, oh, I've just remembered I need to go home now. I'd been caught out for being a bloody compulsive liar. And fair to say, she didn't want to be my friend after that. Please tell me that you lied as a kid as well. Or was I the only psychopath?